You just want to make sure that if the public property that you're going on is open for mushroom hunting. So some of them are closed because they're refuges, nature preserves, things like that. You cannot go on those. So if you're going to a public site, make sure you call whoever is managing that first, just to make sure that site is open.
Captain Williamson reminds the DNR app and the DNR website have access to a lot of things outdoorsmen may need, like getting fishing licenses or regulations for your local recreation area. Visit dnr.illinois.gov or find the DNR app by searching Illinois Outdoors on the Apple Store or Google Play. An above-average temperature trend has dominated the Midwest this spring, and while it is carrying into the summer months, we're not looking at a record summer for heat. Ed Shimon at the National Weather Service in Lincoln indicates we could see more storm activity than usual this summer, but in terms of extreme heat, nothing he is seeing would suggest we're in for an unbearable summer.
All right, yeah, the seasonal outlook for June, July, August, the heart of summer, is showing above normal temperatures. There's a equal chances area in far western Illinois, so probably a few storm systems are going to bring some cooler air down from Canada into the plains. So we're not going to, have the dog days of summer in the June, July portion of this at least. So just be ready for probably a little bit stormy activity this summer, and above normal precip is not quite all the way up to DeWitt. It's in southeast Illinois, so we're equal chances of above or below normal precipitation this summer. And I'm seeing some drought trend out in the plains, so we're going to be pretty close to potentially seeing some dry spells in there that might, hopefully keep us right on the balance of, maybe okay, but just slightly towards drought level of soil moisture. And as I look at the soil moisture nearby, just to the east in Piatt and Champaign County, we're doing good at 4 inches. 8 inches is just below the average, and then 20 inches is also slightly below the average. So we're doing okay. Hopefully the rest of April boosts that up, and the summer doesn't start a drought-type trend too soon, because we know August can be, when we get into the dog days of summer and a drought sets up, we really can do some damage to crops if we don't get some rain in there.
The El Nino of the winter has moved on, and the planet is starting to transition to a La Nina trend for the winter. Shimon indicates we'll see our share of very hot summer days, but it won't be prolonged summer heat.
Yeah, we're going to see above normal temperatures, the trend anyway. So, we could see spells of, maybe 3 or 4 days in the upper 90s, near 100 maybe in the summer, it looks like. Yeah, but it doesn't look like, major heat wave kind of stuff. Just, brief spells of, this is hot. Let's adapt our day, a little more water, spend less time outdoors and stuff like that. Nothing's jumping out. The heat looks like it's bottled up out west, from the northwest down to Texas. There's a solid above normal signal there. So there's going to be some hot air nearby, but it looks like we're going to be maybe getting some beneficial cooler spells, or, and actually cold fronts coming with that, which could do stormy activity as well. So Oceanic temperatures are now kind of in neutral, but they're going to go towards La Nina, and La Nina trends towards a warmer fall and winter. So we'll see, but every single 3-month outlook is above normal temperatures all the way until you finally have to click on the December, January, February 24 into 25 before the temperature outlook is not above normal, and that's equal chances that. So there's definitely something Climate Prediction Center is latching onto, and the air is definitely going to be primed to be above normal more than not the rest of this calendar year, it looks like.
April is trending above normal for temperatures the rest of the month, and the rest of the spring remains in an above normal temperature and precipitation trend. So we will certainly see our share of April showers. News time, 17 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Plenty more coming your way next on the WHOW Morning Show.
Spring is in the air, so it's time to choose your new Silverado. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. We have a good selection of new Silverados with springtime savings and special finance rates. Choose from regular cabs, double cabs, or crew cabs in gas or diesel. We are also allowing extra money for your trade on all new Silverados this month. See our springtime Silverado inventory at bombchevybuick.com right from the start.
News time is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. An effort to update the estate tax in Illinois is gaining traction. Bipartisan legislation has been filed this spring called the Family Farm Preservation Act. Whiteside County farmer Jeff Brooks of Prophetstown testified on behalf of the measure in front of the Illinois House Revenue Committee last week.
One thing that's commonly misunderstood is there is a $4 million exclusion. And as you compare it to the federal tax, there's a $13 million exemption. What a lot of people don't understand, and there was a couple representatives that didn't understand this, to tell you the truth, that there's no tax in Illinois on an estate up to $4 million. But once you cross the threshold and get $4,001,001, it all gets taxed. All $4,001,001. So the Family Farm Preservation Act would go and try and remedy that by first raising the limit to $6 million, and it would be an exemption, not an exclusion. Once you triggered an estate tax liability, only the dollars past $6 million would get taxed.
The legislation has 23 sponsors in the Illinois House and 20 in the state Senate. The Illinois Department of Transportation has announced road construction projects, in part, will take place in Mount Zion, resurfacing on Illinois 121 through Mount Zion from US 36 to the south limits of Mount Zion will also resume this week. The upgraded traffic signals and sidewalk ramps included in the nearly $12 million project have been completed, with the milling, resurfacing, and striping remaining. One lane of traffic will be maintained in each direction with traffic control signs, arrow boards, and barricades directing traffic. Benefits of this project include a smoother driving surface and safer intersections. The project is expected to be complete by mid-June. If you're traveling through the area, expect delays and allow extra time for trips. To avoid the work area when feasible, use alternate routes, which should be considered. You're urged to pay close attention to changing conditions and signs in the zones. Obey the posted speed limits. Refrain from using those mobile devices and be on alert for workers and equipment. Over the next 6 years, IDOT plans to improve more than 3,000 miles of highway and nearly 10 million square feet of bridge deck as a part of the Rebuild Illinois Capital Program, which is investing $33.2 billion into all modes of transportation. Accomplishments through year 4 of the Rebuild Illinois include approximately $12.1 billion of improvement statewide on 5,339 miles of highways, 533 bridges, and 762 additional safety improvements. Get updates on Twitter at the handle at i.district7 or visit gettingaroundillinois.com. An Assumption man was in Christian County Criminal Court after being accused of 20 counts of child pornography. 41-year-old Nicholas Vaughn of Assumption was in criminal court last week, charged with child pornography dissemination of a minor under the age of 13. If found guilty, the charges combined will amount to 12 to 60 years, as they are mandatory consecutive, according to Christian County State's Attorney John McWard. The state has filed a motion to deny pretrial release, and Vaughn is trying to secure an attorney for the case, so it has been pushed to April 15th. Altamont police are investigating after a body was found in water in Altamont Sunday. Effingham County dive team, the sheriff's office, and coroner's office investigated a body that was found in a pond just south of Interstate 70 in the 100 block of South Frontage Street in Altamont just after 7 p.m. The identity of the man is being withheld pending notification of the family. The investigation is being led by the Altamont Police Department. Lake Shelbyville is sporting some new fish cleaning stations for anglers to utilize as fishing season rolls in. Brock Key is park ranger of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and says surrounding campgrounds at Lake Shelbyville will be open in the coming weeks.
We've been talking about it all winter, but the recreation season is finally upon us. Boatwood and Lithia Springs open next Thursday.
Wow.
So it's right around the corner now. Coon Creek opens up May 2nd, and then Lone Point and Possum Creek open up May 16th. With that, we have, so in getting ready for all of our campgrounds opening, all of our recreation areas opening, we have all of our boat ramp courtesy docks. All of those are in at all of the boat ramps. All the day use comfort stations are open. Wow. So for the fishermen, those people getting out, it's supposed to be really nice this weekend, 70s, 80s. They have facilities to use. And also, and this is a big one, all of our fish cleaning stations are open now.
Prior to the new fish cleaning stations being installed, anglers disposed of their fish carcasses by throwing them in a nearby dumpster. The new stations are automated and ready for use, says Park Ranger Key.
They're automated. The ones in the past, they just basically went into a dumpster-type container. Well, it was a dumpster, actually. And this one is automated. It grinds up all of the fish parts, excess fish parts, and then it goes into a holding tank, basically. Yeah. So everything's automated as far as your water, it's got electrical outlets for your knives, fish cleaning knives, everything.
All brand new fish
All
cleaning
brand new fish.
stations.
So if you haven't seen them, come out and take a look at them.
For questions about Lake Shelbyville, contact the Lake Shelbyville Project Office at 217-774-3951. State Senator Steve Stadelman's legislation aimed at combating electronic stalking has successfully passed the Senate and advanced to the House. Electronic stalking is a form of harassment and intimidation facilitated through various digital platforms and communication channels and has become increasingly prevalent in today's society. In this modern technological era, electronic devices are commonly used to track keys, wallets, luggage, and other personal items. However, the electronic devices can also be used by people to stalk others. The measure seeks to include electronic stalking as a method of criminal stalking, providing crucial legal protections for victims in the digital age.
Illinois is one of several states that already prohibits installing a tracking device without the consent of others. What this legislation does is simply expand that language to civil law. Senate Bill 2683 will strengthen the state's stalking laws and help keep victims and survivors safe from their abusers by expanding the definition of stalking to include electronic tracking systems. With advances in technology, more people are using these electronic devices to keep track of their luggage, wallets, and other personal belongings. However, unfortunately, some people are using them for the wrong reasons and using these devices to stalk others. This will hopefully provide another deterrent from happening.
Senate Bill 2683 passed the Senate and heads to the House for further consideration. Various state leaders have expressed concern and opposition to the USPS, or United States Postal Service's proposed network consolidation plan. While the proposal has good intentions, many politicians feel it would ultimately create unemployment and mail delays for Illinois residents. Central Illinois Representative Mike Coffey says the change would be devastating.
Well, the opposition is, number one, we're the state capital, and we should have a post office here located in Springfield, Illinois. Where they're talking about relocating is St. Louis, which has had some of the biggest mail fraud in the country down there. We get a lot of tax payments that come to the capital city, so the delay in those tax payments, it could be 3 to 4 days, but not to mention the jobs that it would cost the 95th district in the Springfield community is too costly. We need the jobs here. We need to build the district, and so I want to do everything we can to keep it here. And the biggest thing is it's the capital. Can you imagine the capital of the state of Illinois not having postal service? That's absolutely crazy. So I mean that's the biggest reason that I'm opposed to it. And hopefully we can deal with the federal elected officials and get something done to keep it here, because it needs to stay in Springfield, Illinois.
The current proposal by the USPS would convert 58 processing and distribution centers into local mail processing centers. The action would redirect Springfield's packages and unprocessed mail to St. Louis. Representative Coffey and community leaders say they are very concerned about losing local jobs, creating more delays in mail delivery, and the reliability of services to both residents and businesses. One of the biggest concerns, though, is the delivery of medication for those who rely on prompt mail service to maintain their health. Cases of autism in adults are underreported. That's the word from an OSF healthcare doctor, Dr. Teresa Reagan. It can be harder to diagnose autism as an adult as it intersects with other conditions. Nevertheless, Dr. Reagan is hoping that more open discussion of autism among adults will get people to see their doctors and discuss the topic. News time is 28 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday. Coverage of news today is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams too, Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. It was an ideal day for baseball and softball in central Illinois, and games were abundant for high school programs. Last night, Clinton had a come-from-behind win on the softball diamond over Decatur St. Teresa. That story comes your way next in sports. Monticello baseball got a big win over Maroa-Forsyth yesterday afternoon. It was a matchup of undefeateds at the Wilkie Complex in Monticello, and the game did not disappoint. A recap of that action comes your way next in sports as well. Elsewhere around the area yesterday, Normal Community topped its crosstown rival Normal West in high school baseball, and Mount Pulaski picked up a win at home over Riverton. Those stories and more in sports coming your way next on WHOW.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomas. Day 2 of jury selection for former President Trump's New York trial. Mr. Trump, already under a gag order imposed by the judge, has been ordered not to miss a single day of the proceedings. House Speaker Mike Johnson planning separate votes on foreign aid bills currently lumped together in a single bill and would provide military aid for Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. Israel launching a diplomatic offensive against Iran as it considers its military response to last weekend's massive Iranian missile and drone attack. They disrupted airports, blocked busy interstates, and snarled bridge traffic. Anti-Israel protesters turned out in cities around the country yesterday, including New York, Miami, and San Francisco. Watching Wall Street, the Dow futures 205 points higher. The NASDAQ futures are up 6 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. Ashley Armstrong broke a 2-all tie in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Clinton rallied past Decatur St. Teresa 3-2 Monday in non-conference high school softball action in Clinton. Armstrong's hit came after Hadley Umble tied the game with a base hit earlier in the inning. Jaylee Eller doubled in a run for the Lady Bulldogs, who jumped in front 2-0 in the first. Brooke Reeves was 2 for 4, while Armstrong was 2 for 3 for Clinton. Armstrong went the distance in circle for the Lady Maroons. The senior struck out 7, allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, and walked 0. Clinton goes to 6-8 overall. They will host Hartsburg-Emden Tuesday afternoon. Hear today's action right here on WHOW and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. In a game heard on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Eli Kraft hit a go-ahead 2-run home run in the 2nd inning, and Monticello held on against Maroa-Forsyth 6-2 in a matchup of undefeated high school baseball teams Monday in Monticello. The Trojans opened the game with a 2-0 lead. Caden Maurer had an infield single kick off the slope of the pitcher's mound that caught Monticello shortstop Carter Foran off guard. In his pursuit of the ground ball to his left, Mitch Williams worked a walk on a borderline 3-2 pitch from Monticello senior Luke Teschke after Zane Giles sacrificed the 2-over. 2 pass balls allowed the Trojans to go up 2-0 early. The Sages got a run back in their half of the first inning on a Teschke RBI triple to right center field. Kraft blistered another big fly to left following a Jacob Long single to start the inning that put Monticello ahead 3-2. The game could be a huge indicator of seeding in the upcoming 2A playoffs. Monticello and Maroa-Forsyth are in the same subsectional and could see each other again in a regional or sectional setting. The Trojans' defense let them down in the third inning as Monticello added insurance runs with Ike Young at bat and a third strike in the dirt. Mitch Williams' throw to first base sailed into right field. Young then took second on a ball in the dirt, and Long singled through the right side of the infield, and Young slid around the tag at home plate to make the score 4-2. In the sixth inning, Dylan Brown singled to start the inning for Monticello. Ray Colbert doubled down the left field line to set up second and third, and nobody out. Eric Arnold hitting for leadoff hitter Carter Foran brought in Brown with a sac fly to left. Then Matt Sort singled home Colbert to put Monticello up 6-2. The game ended after Maurer singled to center field with 2 outs. Williams then doubled to right field just past a diving attempt by Young. Maurer was held at third base at the last second, and Williams took a big turn at second. The throw went to third base. Monticello caught Maurer trying to score. Teschke worked through a frustrating start to the game to finish 5 1/3 innings of 2-run ball. The Illinois State commit struck out 9, walked 3, and allowed 5 hits. Foran finished the game with an inning of 2/3 of shutout ball. Maurer led Maroa-Forsyth going 3 for 4 with a run and a stolen base. Monday was another classic between the two programs that have had a lot of success in recent years and play each other very close when they match up. The Trojans' undefeated run comes to an end as they go to 13-1 overall. Monticello goes to 20-0 on the season. The Sages are off to its best start since the 2017-18 Sages baseball team went 25-5. Monticello will host Salt Fork on Wednesday. Ethan Eberle struck out 15 in 6 innings of 1-run ball, and Normal Community dispatched its crosstown rival Normal West 6-1 in Big 12 high school baseball at Normal West High School. The Louisville commit went just 3 over the minimum, walking 1 and permitting 2 hits. Alex Olson doubled in the only run of the game for Normal West. Kyle Beatty and Riley Hendren doubled for the Ironmen. Beatty was 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Hendren finished 2 for 3 with an RBI. Chase Reinhardt went 6 innings for the Wildcats, allowing 3 runs. 1 was earned on 3 hits with 2 walks and struck out 6. Normal West drops to 8-8 overall and 4-3 in the Big 12, while Normal Community improves to 16-1 and 6-0 in the Big 12. The two teams play again on Wednesday at Normal Community High School. Mount Pulaski used a 5-run 4th inning to get by Riverton 9-4 Monday in non-conference high school baseball action from Mount Pulaski. Luke Martin drove in 3 for the Hilltoppers, finishing 3 for 4 with a double. Landon Smith hit a 2-run triple, finishing 1 for 3. Liam Smith, Franklin Wade, and Tucker Fitzpatrick drove in runs. Fitzpatrick, Eric Cooper, and Chance Payne hit doubles for Mount Pulaski, while Cooper logged 3 stolen bases to Fitzpatrick's 1. Cooper allowed an unearned run in 4 1/3 innings. He struck out 6, walked 5, and permitted 3 hits. Aaron Volley held on in the final 2 2/3 innings for the win. He allowed 3 runs. 2 were earned on 5 hits with a walk and a strikeout. Mount Pulaski goes to 13-1 overall. They will host Hayworth this afternoon. Arthur Lovington, Atwood Hammond brought home the winning run in the bottom of the 7th inning and took down Blue Ridge 7-6 in Lincoln Prairie Conference high school softball action Monday in Arthur. Alla took control of the game with a 5-run fifth to go up 6-4, but Blue Ridge came back to tie it in the 7th on a 2-run double from Cassie Zimmerman. But Anna Rollins walked it off for the Lady Knights of Alla in the bottom of the 7th. Zimmerman finished 3 for 3 with a double, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Carly Fenton was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs for the Lady Knights. Blue Ridge stole 8 bases, highlighted by Addison Roos's 4. Lily Anger and Zimmerman stole 2 bases apiece. Blue Ridge drops to 4-9 overall and 0-4 in the Lincoln Prairie. They host PBL this afternoon. Nico Horner scored the tying run from second base on a wild pitch in the 9th inning, then delivered a go-ahead single in the 11th as the Cubs rallied past the Diamondbacks 3-2 Monday night. Michael Busch homered for the Cubs, leading off the second on an 0-2 pitch from Merrill Kelly. It was the rookie's 6th of the season and 5th straight game with a home run, tying the franchise record. Busch walked in the 11th. Garrett Cooper singled, moving automatic runner Nick Madrigal to third against Kevin Jarvis to load the bases. Horner followed with a single to right and advanced all 3 runners one base. Chicago was unable to tack on, but Keegan Thompson pitched 2 scoreless innings for the win, walking 1 and striking out 3. He fanned Christian Walker with the potential tying run on third to end the game. Corbin Carroll's 2-out RBI single off reliever Drew Smiley in the 8th gave the Diamondbacks a 2-1 lead, but the Cubs tied it in the 9th against Kevin Ginkel. Horner and Mike Talkman singled with 1 out. After a strikeout, Ginkel bounced a pitch that rolled away from catcher Gabe Moreno, and Horner raced all the way around from second. Cubs rookie Ben Brown, making his 2nd career start and 4th appearance, retired his last 13 batters and only gave up 1 hit in 6 innings. It was an RBI single by Jake McCarthy that followed 2 walks in the 2nd inning. Brown struck out 4. Hack Wilson, Ryan Sandberg, Sammy Sosa, and teammate Christopher Morel also homered in 5 consecutive games for the Cubs. Kelly lasted 5 innings, throwing 95 pitches. He gave up 5 hits, walked 2, and struck out 5. Before the game, the Cubs placed outfielder Saya Suzuki on the 10-day injured list with a right oblique strain, which occurred Sunday while running the bases in Seattle. Chicago recalled outfielder Alexander Canario from AAA Iowa to replace him on the roster. Kyle Hendricks faces Diamondbacks lefty Tommy Henry today. Sonny Gray struck out 6 and did not walk a batter in 6 scoreless innings, beating his former club with career win number 100. Wilson Contreras doubled twice and drove in a run for the Cardinals in a 3-1 win over the A's on Monday. Nolan Arenado hit an RBI single in the first to stake Gray to an early lead against an Oakland team that had won 3 of 4 and drew a crowd of only 5,500. Astory Ruiz was called up by Oakland shortly before first pitch from AAA Las Vegas and hit a pinch hit homer in the 8th inning. Closer Ryan Helsley struck out 2 in a 1-2-3 ninth for his 6th save in a game that lasted just 2 hours and 19 minutes. A's starter Ross Stripling left in the 6th inning and gave way to Michael Kelly, who immediately gave up an RBI single to Jordan Walker. Stripling has allowed 32 hits over his initial 4 starts since the A's acquired the right-hander from the Giants. Zach Geloff had a pair of hits for the A's, who took 2 of 3 from the Nationals at home over the weekend and have won 3 straight series for the first time since May to June of 2021, when they had 5 victories in a set in a row. Lance Lynn pitches in the middle game of the series for St. Louis opposite J.P. Sears. In a game heard here on WHOW, Seth Lugo pitched 7 crisp innings. Vinny Pasquantino homered, and the Kansas City Royals topped the White Sox 2-0 Monday night. Lugo allowed 4 hits, all singles, in his 3rd straight win. The right-hander also beat the Sox with 6 2/3 innings of 1-run ball on April 4th. Andrew Benintendi had 2 of Chicago's 4 hits in its 5th consecutive loss, part of a franchise-worst 2-14 start. The White Sox became the first team to get shut out 6 times in their first 16 games since the 1907 Brooklyn Superbas, according to Baseball Reference. Braden Shoemake was the only runner to advance past first base. He singled and swiped second in the 5th, but was stranded there when Robbie Grossman flew out to the warning track in right. Gavin Sheets was hit by a pitch with 2 down in the 9th, but MacArthur struck out pinch hitter Eloy Jimenez for the final out. Sox right-hander Nick Nastrini permitted 2 runs and 3 hits in 5 innings in his big league debut. He struck out 5 and walked 2.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nastrini gets his first career strikeout. There's that changeup you highlighted in the pregame. One of those rough years. Swing and a miss on a change to get him, but sometimes those are good things. The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3 on a slider. Well, completely overmatched Lofton there. The pitch, swing and a miss. He just blew it past him on a fastball. And that is his 4th strikeout. 2 strikes to count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Just some high cheese that time. 5 strikeouts.
The Sox activated Jimenez from the 10-day injured list. The slugger had been sidelined by a left abductor strain. Right-handers Brady Singer and Jonathan Cannon take the mound tonight. Singer is 2-0 with a .98 ERA. He threw 5 innings of 1-run ball in a Kansas City 13-3 win over Houston on Thursday. Cannon makes his big league debut for Chicago. Get sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Chance of thunderstorms today, otherwise cloudy skies expected. High temperatures reach up to 80. Winds out of the south